Hey there, Cowboys Nation! Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We have a huge story coming out of the NFL, and if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you're going to want to stick around because this one involves none other than Micah Parsons. The Cowboys superstar has finally broken his silence on his contract situation. And let's just say his bold admission to Jerry Jones has people talking. So, let's dive right into it, because this could have major implications, not just for the Cowboys, but for the entire NFL landscape. Micah Parsons is one of the most electrifying defensive players in the league today. Ever since he was drafted by the Cowboys in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft, he's been a dominant force on the field, a game changer, a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, and quite frankly, the heart and soul of this Dallas defense. But now, the conversation has shifted from his performances on the field to what's happening off the field, his contract negotiations. And trust me, folks, it's heating up. Parsons is still on his rookie deal, but let's be honest, everyone knows he's due for a massive payday. The Cowboys have a history of holding on to their stars, but they also have a history of dragging out contract negotiations, and that's where things get interesting. Remember what happened with Dak Prescott? That saga lasted years before the Cowboys finally locked him down with a big-time deal. Could we be heading in the same direction with Parsons? Well, based on what he just said, it looks like we might be. Reports have been swirling about Parsons' contract status, and speculation has been rampant. Will Jerry Jones open the checkbook? Will the Cowboys pay him like the best defensive player in football? And then, Micah Parsons himself decided to speak up and let everyone know exactly where he stands. His words weren't just casual comments, they were a message, loud and clear. Parsons admitted that he is well aware of what he's worth and isn't going to settle for anything less than what he deserves. And for Jerry Jones, that means one thing: he better be ready to break the bank. In a recent interview, Parsons didn't hold back. He said he's not just looking to be the highest-paid linebacker, he wants to reset the entire market for defensive players. That's right, folks. He's eyeing a deal that could surpass even what players like Nick Bosa and Aaron Donald have received. And honestly, can you blame him? The man is an absolute beast on the field, putting up numbers and performances that rival some of the best defensive players in NFL history. Now, let's talk about numbers. Right now, the highest-paid defensive player in the NFL is Nick Bosa, who signed a 5-year, $170 million extension with the San Francisco 49ers. That contract includes $122.5 million in guaranteed money. Aaron Donald, one of the most dominant defensive players in recent memory, is sitting on a 3-year, $95 million deal. So where does Parsons fit into this? Well, if he gets what he wants, he could be looking at a contract in the $180 to $200 million range, with upwards of $130 to $140 million guaranteed. That would shatter records and set a new benchmark for defensive players. The question is, will Jerry Jones be willing to go that far? The Cowboys owner is no stranger to handing out massive contracts, but he's also known for playing hardball in negotiations. It's a delicate balance. On one hand, Jones knows that Parsons is the backbone of this defense and a generational talent. On the other hand, the Cowboys have other financial commitments, and handing out a record-breaking contract means they'll have to be strategic with the rest of their roster. This brings us to the next big issue: what happens if the Cowboys don't get a deal done? Well, here's where things could get really interesting. If Dallas drags its feet on this deal, Parsons could start looking at other options. He wouldn't be the first star player to feel undervalued and start exploring what else is out there. And let's be real, teams would be lining up around the block to offer him a monster deal. There are at least a dozen teams in the NFL that would move heaven and earth to bring in a player like Parsons. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. For now, Parsons remains a Cowboy, and all signs point to Dallas wanting to keep him long-term. But how long are they willing to wait? And how long is Parsons willing to wait before things start getting uncomfortable? The NFL is a business, and as much as players and teams like to keep things cordial, contract disputes have a way of turning messy. So what does this mean for the Cowboys going forward? Well, for one, they need to figure out their financial situation quickly. The team has already invested heavily in players like Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Trayvon Diggs, but Parsons is on a different level. He's a game changer, a player who can single-handedly turn a defense from good to elite. Losing him would be catastrophic for this franchise, and Jerry Jones knows it. Another thing to consider is how this affects team chemistry. When players start talking about money publicly, it can sometimes lead to tension in the locker room. We've seen it before, players feeling like they're underpaid, management trying to keep things quiet, and suddenly it becomes a distraction. The last thing the Cowboys need is contract drama overshadowing their season. And let's not forget the fans. Cowboys Nation is one of the most passionate fan bases in all of sports, and they've made it clear they want Parsons locked up for the long haul. Fans have been flooding social media, demanding that Jerry Jones pay the man. There's a real fear that if this drags on too long, it could create unnecessary drama and put a strain on Parsons' relationship with the team. So, where do we go from here? If the Cowboys are smart, they'll get ahead of the situation and start serious negotiations now. Waiting too long could backfire, especially if another player signs a massive deal that raises the market even higher. The longer they wait, the more expensive Parsons becomes. At the end of the day, this is about more than just money. It's about respect, value, and setting a precedent for future stars. Parsons has made it clear that he wants to be paid what he's worth, and honestly, he deserves it. The Cowboys have a choice to make: either step up and pay one of the best defensive players in the league, or risk alienating their biggest defensive star. And that's where things stand right now. Micah Parsons has put Jerry Jones and the Cowboys on notice. He knows his worth, and he's not afraid to say it. The ball is now in Dallas's court. What will they do? Will they make Parsons the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history, or will this turn into another drawn-out contract battle? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this is a story that every Cowboys fan and every NFL fan should be keeping a close eye on. That's all for today, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should the Cowboys pay Parsons whatever he wants, or should they hold off and play the negotiation game? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Until next time, keep it locked in right here for all the latest NFL news and analysis.